Being half Chilean, I always was told by my dad that I have to be very proud of my heritage because not a lot of people know about Chile at all. And I would believe him if only I could understand him. His accent is so thick, he doesn't so much speak, he squawks. He's like an overprotective parental parent. Fabian! You should be proud of your Chilean heritage! Yeah, Dad, more pressure. That's going to help with the hunch in my back. And I know that he's a parental parent because he's really into crackers. If he wasn't, I wouldn't be here right now. That got some chuckles and it took some thinking. But seriously though, Chileans were not an attractive breed. That's probably why my dad chose to crossbreed. When the only two famous Chileans are Pedro Pascal and Snooki from Jersey Shore, you know the problem isn't demand, it's the supply. Anybody else have some weird heritage facts that they want to share with the class? No? Not a very interactive crowd, so I'm just going to keep throwing jokes at you and you're going to keep getting laughter back. That sound good? Woo! I got an actual sounds good from someone here. Someone's verbal tonight. What's your name, buddy?
Oscar.
Oscar! Wonderful. You look like an Oscar.
Perfect. Okay.
That sounds good. You're just eating your nachos?
Yeah.
By the way, you guys can order food and drink throughout the night. You have these handy little check cards here that you can order your food with. I'm personally ordering a nice mojito myself. Exactly. If there's anything to drink about, it's Thanksgiving. When things go wrong for me, they have a tendency to go wrong all at once. In a single weekend, my laptop got fried. I know, right? If I knew the porn I was watching was that spicy, I probably wouldn't have bothered. And then my bed falls apart. Who knew Murphy's Law also applied to Murphy beds? What can go wrong will go wrong. And if you can pull a bed out of the wall, it can pull the whole wall down. I've also been single my entire adult life. So anything that can happen in that bed won't. Seriously though, I'm 25. In about 15 years, I'll be giving Steve Carell a run for his money. I'm really glad people in this room have seen The 40-Year-Old Virgin, or else that joke wouldn't have worked at all. And you guys are probably thinking, it's like, he's just being too hard on himself. He has 15 years before he reaches 40-year-old age. Well, I have to remind you, it's been 15 years! 25 years! You ever forget your own jokes? You guys are probably wondering, where the hell did they find this hairy bastard? Well, I come from a small town. Anybody in here from small towns? Give me a woo if you're from a small town! Woo! Wow, that is exactly the level of enthusiasm for coming from a small town I was expecting. It's wonderful, it's nice and tropical. It's America just south of here, not South America. The town is about 3 hours south. It has wonderful rocky beaches that know how to cut up the toes, beautiful, pristine skies of gray, and a population where 60% of it is over the age of 60. People in Vancouver, they like to complain about cyclists and bike lanes. Back home, I have to deal with walker lanes. Imagine traffic being stalled by... I'm just heading to the Quick Mart for some tapioca. Ooh, I love the tapiocas. And it's not like you can just honk at them because, they're old and frail and they'll get a heart attack and the ambulance gets involved and it's a whole thing and a half. And the town is wonderful, Des Moines, Washington. Woo! Thank you. The one woo tells me exactly what you need to know about Des Moines, Washington. And some of you guys might not know this because we're in Canada, newsflash. But there's two Des Moines in the U.S. There's Des Moines, Washington, and then Des Moines, Iowa. You know how you can tell the difference between someone in Washington and Iowa? Iowans drop the last S. They think they're above it, the landlocked weirdos. They think they're special because they have a whole sculpture park. Well, in Des Moines, we have a single sculpture. It's of a giddy fisherman catching a big old fish with big old tits. Which explains the fishing community, why most everyone owns a motorboat, and most of my sexual fantasies. It's called a reverse mermaid. You know, the local surf and turf shop, instead of serving fish and chips, they serve fish and tits. They're working on getting the tartar sauce to squeeze right out. The problem is that the little bits of pickle get stuck in there, and it's a whole thing and a half. You don't want to try it. And you know what? I'm glad it's Thanksgiving, because holidays, anyone else find holidays have just been better over the last year? Seriously. I had this wonderful Christmas dinner with my family last year. I saw a yawn there. You know where this is going. I had a wonderful Christmas dinner with my family last year. It was the first time my dad let me sit at the coveted head of the table. I was honored. And then I realized this Christmas dinner was over Zoom, so I was literally just a head on the table. It got really weird when I tried to turn to my mom and said, "Hey, can you pass the fish and tits?" She didn't appreciate it either. Oh, boy. I'll leave you guys with this, and then I'll bring up your first comic for the night. Growing up as a half Latino, I always loved the TV show Zorro. Anybody remember that old Zorro TV show?
Yes.
I wanted to be Zorro when I grew up. Unfortunately, I found out that cutting your initials into people puts you on some sort of list. Nobody will call me Zorro in the big house. I think you guys are nice and warmed up. At least you're chuckling at the very least. Your first comedian, he's our musical mingling Mexican of the night, although he told me he's not going to sing for you. I know. Maybe if you guys are nice to him, he'll do it. Got some snickering out of that. He's also going to be doing another fully Spanish show on October 22nd in the Red Room. Please put your hands together and give a warm welcome to Pablo Zacarias! I don't know what that belly tap was about. Is he trying to tell me something? I mean, when he was talking about the man boobs, I thought he was talking about me directly. Took that very personally. Well, hey there, guys. If you want to support this show and see more shows like this in the future, we have this fancy schmancy tip jar over in that corner there. I'm looking at you, Oscar. We have this fancy schmancy tip jar in the corner there, so you can support the comics, see if we can put on another show like this, or support man boob reduction surgery. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and put our first coin of the night in there. Woo!
Your chip.
I'm sorry, one more time?
Your chip.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Man, father? I'm getting insults from the shadows. Jeez. Well, I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm going to go ahead and bring up your next comic of the night. She's hilarious. She's made in China. She makes laughs in Canada. And she also sells houses, so you can pick up her business card later. Please, welcome to the stage, Yi Shen-shen! Give it up one more time for Yi Shen. The process of putting this cover on, taking the mask off, having to talk to you guys, trying to get you laughing a bit. Something funny. Man, everyone's touching my belly today. Jeez. Give it up for our meat one more time! That was great. Can I just say, of course, all the male comedians have this thing about tits. Harmeet was talking about hooters. Pablo was going on about man boobs. And then, of course, there was me with the fish and tits bit. Which, by the way, Havana, if you find out a way to make fish and tits a thing, I will love you forever. Seriously. Alrighty. Oh, geez, it got silent all of a sudden. I guess I should say something funny. You know, growing up, I wasn't always like the popular kid, obviously. That's why I'm doing comedy. While all you guys were out there during recess playing sports or hanging out with friends or making friends or having friends, I was sitting on the bench reading my bug books. My personal favorite was one on praying mantises called Eat, Pray, and Oh Fuck, My Partner's Eating Me Alive. Fun fact, you know the male praying mantis is one of the few species of insects that rarely dies a virgin? Lucky bastard. Of course, it's because the female tries to eat them up. Wow. I got some chuckles. There's somebody in that corner that's read praying mantis books. I just called him out. Ain't that right, Oscar? You heard him. Yeah, you heard them. Oh, thank you, Hector. There's the mojito I ordered at the top of the show. That's a good mojito. Woo! Oh, jeez. I should probably bring up your next comic before you guys go, oh, geez, how long is this guy going to go on for? He's not even a full Latino. What is he doing hosting this show? Filthy half-breed. Your next comedian, without him, this show really wouldn't be possible. He's crazy, he's nuts, he has the energy of a coked-up puppy dog. Please give it up for your vaudevillian Venezuelan Hector Rivas! That was great. You know, when Hector asked me to host this show, I asked him, really? This is only my second. Of course, the one name that I botched this entire night is the most white toast name on the roster. Jeez. You know, he was talking a lot about being a Canadian in America. Can I just take a moment to talk about being an American stuck in Canada? I'm going to. You see, you know how I said that thing where I wanted to grow up to be Zorro? When I found out that wasn't going to work out, I decided I should probably go to school for something practical. So naturally, I went for acting. So I come out here to study acting, and I've wanted to be an actor my whole life. Seriously. Back in high school, I used to do drama program. I did 2 plays, and then the drama program shuts down. I was just being a tree. And then I do drama in college, in community college theater. It's still a thing. I did 2 plays. The drama program shuts down. I come out to Vancouver to study acting, to pursue this dream. I'm here for 2 months, and the whole city goes into lockdown. That's a dreams don't come true joke and a COVID joke. It's a double whammy. Well, guys, it's almost headliner time, but before I bring her out, I know you guys have been waiting for her. I'm going to give a couple special thanks, because this show would not be possible without Marlo Martinez and Maya Producciones. Woo! Woo! You don't need to lie, you had no idea who those people or that group was. I see the tip jar is still relatively empty. Oscar, have you been pulling your weight? See me after the show. Alrighty, I'm not going to leave you in anticipation anymore. We also have to give a special thanks to our headliner because who's our Brazilians in the crowd?
Woo!
Without our headliner, that table wouldn't be here. You can follow her on Instagram at @TheJackieJoy. Please give it up for your very funny, not so appropriate, but very Brazilian headliner, Jackie Joy! Safety first. You know what they say. Jackie Joy, everybody! That was wonderful. You guys have been a wonderful crowd tonight. Thank you so much. This has been Comedy in a Second Language, the one-of-a-kind show in Vancouver. I just did a Google search while the show was going on. Apparently, we're not the only ones in Canada that do this. And they have a very similar name to ours. So if you don't tell, we won't tell. Thank you guys so much. You brought such great energy for us tonight. Give a big round of applause to yourselves. A big round of applause to the comics. A big round of applause to Oscar. He didn't do anything other than volunteer his name, but, you know. And a big round of applause to this guy. He took that joke earlier like a champ. I'm honestly just stalling for time because I'm not entirely sure how I should wrap up this show. Maybe if you keep ordering drinks, they won't kick us out. But thank you so much. This has been Comedy in a Second Language. I've been your host, Patricio Mendoza. You have been a wonderful audience. Donate in the tip jar and have a wonderful evening.